Well, today is an exciting day. We are in a brand new 2025 Alumacraft. They revamped a few of their lineups. I've been running the competitor series for the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, around a bunch of 185 competitors. Now I run a 205. Well, this is the 175X competitor. So many things are different. In this video, I'm giving you a full walkthrough, show you what's the same, what's different, and we're gonna do a little fishing under this sweet new rig. All right, so we're gonna start at the back of the boat, and probably one of the most noticeable design changes is the transom. Like, you can see it, it's plain as day. The transom sticks out on either side. Traditionally, the transom would run flat across the back of the boat. That's how boat designs have been forever. Alumacraft is thinking outside the box. So it sticks out on either side. You don't need a bigger garage, a bigger shop, whatever you wanna call it, because the motor's sticking out this far. It doesn't stick out past the motor, but you're gaining 16 inches on either side. So a couple things. You're gaining stability, you're gaining a bigger casting deck in the back for fishing, and more storage, and you don't need a bigger shop to park it. So yeah, cubbies on either side. I think there will be some companies coming out with some splash guards, wave whackers for the back. This side here, it has, this is the gas water filter back there. I think if you had hydraulics or power steering, you could put that rigging in there as well, but so much extra space. I'm just thinking about this being a 17.5-foot boat. When you're standing back here, I mean, it's almost 19 feet long, right? For musky fishing, all of a sudden you can fish 3 guys out of a 17.5-foot boat. So the thing is, they still are marketing it as a 175. They're not counting that extra 16 inches of space. So the boat handle's different. I noticed that the splash is a lot further back on the boat. Ride's a little bit nose lower as well, and we're gonna talk about that, but that's the first thing you're gonna notice. Next to the motor, this is really exciting. There's so many parts about this boat that I'm just geeking out about, because I've ran these boats for so many years and there were so many things that I was hoping they would improve, and they checked the boxes. So another big one is the engine ratings. Now you can run a 90 horse, this is a 90 horse Merc on a 175. You can run a 115 on the 90, and you can run a 250 now on the 200. So if you guys saw my last review video with my 200, the walkthrough, I'm getting like mid 50, 54 miles an hour with a 200. With a 250, you're gonna be hitting some pretty crazy speed. So very cool that they got the ratings bumped up on all of those. Next, let's move to the back here. There's actually a few different module options. I don't have them all memorized. I know that this one is called the Flex 29. So basically it's got a 29-gallon live well. It's huge. It runs from here till right here till this seam. You can fit, you know, any size tournament fish you need in there. And then on the side here, you've got so much storage. Historically, this has been where your battery rigging has been, but they actually moved it down by my feet. So now you've got tons of storage. You could fit probably, I don't know, like 10 or 12 tackle trays in there. And then by my feet, you've got the battery storage for the house batteries. So this could power all your electronics, live well, all that good stuff. But by your feet, out of the way, which I love. So this boat comes with a 7-inch Garmin in the dash, and this is what runs your speedometer, RPMs, fuel. You can use it for mapping as well, but it comes with the boat, a nice 7-inch Garmin. You can link into everything else. That's nice. So there's no more analog gauges anymore. Bluetooth stereo, you've got USB, little holder here for your remotes, a little phone holder as well, which I think is perfect. Plier holders, locking, tray out here where you can put some tackle, your odds and ends. Then you've got your power, lights, aerator, recirc, horn, bilge, all that good stuff, graphs. It's all just nice and neat and cleaned up, and it doesn't take up a big footprint, which I appreciate it. Here, you've got the TraxTech tracks. You know, guys are putting more and more graphs on their boat, and it puts a lot of flex on this. They made this so beefy, so strong, reinforced. I can jump on that. You'd have no problem putting, you know, 3 12-inch screens or bigger if you want on there. And the nice thing is there's just so much flexibility with this TraxTech system, because you can just slide the graphs on and off. You can slide on, let's say you have an ice fishing live scope bundle you like to move around. Well, now you can just slide it right in there. It's very modular, easy to move around. Behind the console, as I mentioned, there's no longer analog readouts, so everything's digital. All the cords are back here. You still got some storage for some extra odds and ends, but it's just very accessible. You can tell it's rigged very clean, easy to get at, which I appreciate, because I know rigging boats is a lot of work. As I mentioned, there's a Bluetooth stereo. You've got a speaker on this side, speaker on that side. All right, moving to the starboard side. This is the big long compartment, I call it. You can fit rods up to, I think, 10 feet long in here. There's tubes at the end for rods, but just a massive amount of storage. I keep tackle in here, life jackets, whatever else. But also, check out this big clear tube down the side. That is for your electronics rigging. Another thing that can be a pain, they thought about that. Now they got these big, beautiful tubes to pass everything down. That is the side compartment. Here you got your onboard cooler. It's got a drain in the bottom if your ice is melting or whatever else. Moving forward to the storage, and like I said, this boat has just a stupid amount of storage. You've got a big old compartment in here. It's not carpet on the bottom. It's like a rubbery type matting, which I appreciate. It'll dry it a little quicker. There is carpet in the side for when things are bouncing around. On the other side, you've got the same deal, more storage, keep your bumpers in it, whatever else. All right, next we're on to the rod locker. Another thing you'll notice is it has this little jut out here, and what that allows for is longer rods. Once again, people are fishing with more graphs, they're fishing with longer rods. They thought about that when designing it. So you open it up, it says it's rated for an 8-foot rod, but really, this is an 8-foot flip and stick. I'm gonna push it as far as I can forward. You could probably fit a 9-foot rod in there, which is pretty impressive. Another thing you'll notice on the floor of this, there's these steps. Instead of those grooves for individual rods, there are steps. So now you can fit a lot more rods. You can see how these butts can get close to each other. It's different because in the past you had those little grooves and you'd fit whatever it is, 4 rods across. Now you can fit substantially more. So we're gonna pull these rods out. So what you're gonna notice in the rod locker now, so it's got this sort of foam aqua traction style matting in the bottom. Just when your rods and reels are sitting on it, it's even if you're bouncing and the reels are on the bottom, they're on something soft. They're not rubbing against hard plastic. You take this off right here, and this is where you get at the batteries. And even in a 17.5-foot boat, they have 3 battery slots. So you could run a 36-volt system, which is pretty impressive. And now they come pre-rigged with power shutoffs. They got switches for the master power in the back and for the trolling motor, which is something people often have to add aftermarket, so it is a nice touch that they have that in there. Slide all of our rods back in. Obviously there's these steps on the back, but the thing is too, now there's a soft bottom here. You can slide these rods as far forward as you want. You can fit a couple more because the reels aren't stacking, and they're still sitting on a soft bottom, so you're not scratching them up. Now we're going forward. Here's the seat pedestal. In the past, there would be multiple pedestals for where you could put your post in. Now they have just one because, let's be honest, I think that's the only spot I've ever put a seat. If people want to sit and fish, they're typically sitting at the back. So what that allows is just more storage. Like I said, everywhere they could fit storage, they put more storage in this boat. So this is the mother of all storage compartments, a big rotomolded tub. It's got a foam lid so it seals everything watertight, but like, look how big this compartment is. Remember, this is a 17.5-foot boat, and then it's got that foam in the bottom just to help protect your gear when you're bouncing around. So I love storage. This compartment would get a lot of use. All right, going on the other side, there's a front live well as well if you want to have 2 live wells in your boat. I'm using it for tackle storage, rope, life jackets, that sort of stuff. And then in the nose, you've just got another roto-molded waterproof compartment for more gear, because I know you got lots of fishing gear in your boat. So, all right, so now we're at the bow of the boat. Once again, a lot different than the previous competitors. It's a little bit lower in the front, so you can get away. I think you can get away with a shorter shaft trolling motor from what I've seen. It rides a little bit nose lower, and then it's obviously nose lower when you stop. I really like that. In the front here, you've got 2 holes on the port, 2 on the starboard. You can put your rod tips in. You can kind of tuck them off to the side. So if you've got a bunch of rods on the deck, it's just a way to stay clean and organized. Plier holders, you've got a nice phone holder there with an elastic, easy to pull out and keep it secure. A nice waterproof USB, which would be perfect for powering a GoPro, live scope recorder, charging your phone, whatever you need there. Another thing that I'm very excited is they reinforce this nose significantly. I know trolling motors are getting more and more powerful. Well, this one I can tell you is rock solid. And probably my favorite part, because I just rigged this Garmin Kraken on the nose, was how easy it was to get at. So here you can see this big hard, I think it says HDPE plastic panel here. You can actually cut this out and fit a graph right in the nose. So it's another way to do a flush mount graph. You can mount, you know, your other electronics on top, but it makes it so easy to get to your trolling motor. Brought my drill along. I just want to show you this because I've rigged a lot of trolling motors in a lot of boats, and it's always a pain getting at the nose. There's not enough light. It's tough to get at. Well, they fixed it. So now you take this panel off and look at all this room. It is so easy to get at. It's so clean how they rigged all the wires here. There's posts down here that you hook up your trolling motor to. It really took me like 15 minutes to rig this trolling motor on the nose, and I can tell you that's the quickest I've ever done it. So accessible. I can't tell you how important that is to me when you're messing around with wiring. You could put your black box in there for live scope. You could fit multiple black boxes in there. That was a treat when I opened this up. All right, last thing we're gonna talk about in this portion is this little latch on the front. This comes off, and you've got a little inset little plate here to put your trolling motor pedal. And then when you're running the pedal all day, you're not off balance. Now It's level with the floor of your boat. Very nice, won't slide around, bounce out. As well, there's a little hole there. If you have a corded pedal, you can pass the cords through there up to your trolling motor. If you have a lower profile pedal, it'll actually close underneath this lid. It's another nice little feature. But anyways, we're gonna get the Kraken rolling and we're gonna try to christen this boat with a couple fish. We have 3 hours to catch as many species as possible. Timer starts right now. Look at these beautiful boulders. Oh man. All right, we are starting it off throwing a topwater, which could get a largie, could get a pike, could get a smallmouth. That's what I love about Northwest Ontario, is there's so much you can do on the same lake. Pretty much every lake has smallmouth. Quite a few have largemouth. Every lake has pike, walleye, perch. Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting a fish so soon. It's now mid-July, so there's weeds up everywhere, and it's on these hot sunny days, these fish can hide right in the weeds. So what we're throwing, a little chopper style bait. Got a bomb of frog back. You're gonna see me switching rods a lot tonight. Oh, another one. Wow, all right. Fish are biting on top. All right. Oh, there's fish. Got him. Oh, we might have species number 1. It's not what I wanted. It's a pike. We're about 5 minutes in and we got the northern pike. We deep fry that one whole. Well, I was thinking big largemouth bass back in the slop, but. So now that we're out of the weeds, that's where I like to switch back to that chopo, because frog's good in the thick stuff, but I find that the chopo is just a little better for calling fish, or the jig, but. Oh, there's a largie right there. I saw him eat it. We're boat flipping him. Oh, he's barely hooked. Oh no, second try. Hey, that was sweet. Right beside the boat. We're off to a good start. I actually don't want to stop largie fishing. We might largie fish a little bit longer, but there you go. A little 2-pounder. Species number 2, and we're on the first stretch of shoreline. Ooh. Number 2. I think we'll throw the frog now back into the grass. Oh, there we go. Oh. Oh, it's a nice one. It's a nice one. Wow, just chowed the frog. Oh, baby. All right, I'm glad we're still largie fishing. Here you go, a little bigger than the last one. We'll call it knocking on 3 pounds. Oh, jeez. Oh man, I knew she was gonna start flipping. Through this little multi-species extravaganza, you're gonna see fish in both ends of the spectrum. We're probably gonna go out in 20, 25 feet of water looking for walleyes. Now we're at the other end of the spectrum, the warmest, scuzziest shallow water, and that's what largies love. And you can see all this vegetation here. They love hiding under it, especially on these hot, calm days. Like that one, I couldn't believe how shallow it was. It was in 2 feet of water in the lily pads. Oh yeah. Come on, baby. Oh, another species. This is way too easy tonight. There's supposed to be a struggle. There was supposed to be a struggle. That is species number 3, the mighty smallmouth bass. We'll probably try to upgrade that one. So I'm using 50-pound braid, and this is an 8-foot flipping rod. It's got so much power. As you saw at the lily pads when I hooked it, you just got to start winching and try to get that fish out of there because they can get in deep. Even though it's only a couple pound fish, they just turn and burn. You may notice my boat in the back of these shots. Well, BRP Alumacraft sent a couple camera guys and doing a little lifestyle documentary piece, which will probably be online in July. So they're gonna kind of tell the story about my relationship with Alumacraft and what I do. And so anyways, that explains why there's random people filming. I mean, you know Hayden. Bass love to sit in the shade. Docks are just so perfect. Let's see if we can find one hiding here. Oh my gosh, he got me under the dock. No, just came launching. I launched that top water like beside the dock. A lot of hooks to get in the hand. All right, another victim to the top water. Well, we just pulled the trolling motor up. That's a pretty good start. We got walleye left. I don't know about rock bass. I don't know. We're probably gonna walleye fish the rest of the day. We're just gonna keep fishing. That's all I know. It's walleye time. Fishing some main lake reefs. Some weeds on top. Might be some smallies on top, pike on top. Walleys down deep. There's fish right between us. I'll try the drop shot. They're probably bass. There's some main lake weeds here and there are fish just all over, just right here. I should almost be able to look down and just see them. He ate it on the way down. He ate the weight. That's what we're seeing. I think there's bigger ones down there yet. Amazing. Amazing. There's a couple big fish, 45 feet out. That's a fish. Oh, what do we got? I think it's a smallie. I don't know, maybe a walleye. I feel some teeth. This has been coming together quite quickly. Here we have some Ontario gold. I've been catching them deeper lately and I went on top of this reef to maybe get some smallies or pike mixed in, but here we go. Drop shot and leech. There we go. A little 16, 17 incher going in the well. This thing has a giant live well. It goes from here all the way till over there. All right, when I'm putting a leech on, I like to put it on the sucker end as I feel like they don't latch onto themselves as much if you go from the sucker end. This is a size 2. I've been going to a little bigger on the drop shot size hooks. I feel like I can put a little more gears to them. And then I always favor a heavier drop shot weight. This is probably like a close to 3/4 ounce, just because it gets down fast, especially with live scope. You want to just get in their face as quick as possible before you lose them. We'll see if there's more fish. So these fish are a little shallower than I've been fishing recently, but it just shows you how walleyes can be everywhere. 25 feet. Right there. Okay, I'll try my best. We found him. We're gonna drop it down. I'm not even really trying to mark mine just because there's so many fish. I'm just tightening it up and holding that weight on the bottom. I think there's a fish on it. No. I think this is a good spot. I've been fishing them a little deeper all summer. What I've realized about my walleye fishing in recent years is that I don't know much about walleye fishing. So I always thought that they'd be deep in the summer, but it's definitely a big movement to them shallow in the weeds. There you go. I've got enough fish for dinner, but oh, this will be close. I see some suspended fish. Oh, he's coming for my leech. This is good. Oh, there's some right under us. Yeah. That's a fish. Wow, I thought I was snagged. Oh, it's a big walleye. Pretty big walleye. That's a nice one. Not as big as I thought. I'd probably get 22 or 23. Whew. That one's a little too big to eat. We are bringing a couple of fish home for the fam. There we go. You don't have to travel far. You can check all species off the list. Cool. She gone.